Hey folks, Scott Walters here. Welcome to the Bulletproof Garage in another episode of Project Brutus. And as usual, we've got problems. Folks, I give you Exhibit 1. A squatty truck. Yes, Brutus sits a little low in the back, all right? That was not my intent. My people are not squatty truck people. Not that there's anything wrong with that, all right? So we've got to rectify it. But first, how did we get here? As a reminder, Brutus started off as a two-wheel drive truck, but we stuffed a Dana 60 under the front. And for F350s of this generation that got the Dana 60 in a four-wheel drive version, Ford put 4-inch lift blocks on top of the rear axle, all right? The two-wheel drive got nothing, all right? So that's why it sits low in the back. And we're going to fix it, all right? And even though commercial airline pilots everywhere threaten me with bodily harm when they hear me say it, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Here in the Bulletproof Garage. Hey folks, here are the parts we're going to use to lift the back end of the truck up, all right? So everything here is from PMF suspension, so that's Papa Mike Foxtrot suspension. Obviously you can find them with a Google search. So 6-inch lift blocks, they come, I tell you what, these are really nice. The welds are beautiful. They come powder coated, and I ordered them with a 2.5-degree taper to adjust the pinion angle, which is necessary when you're lifting the back of the truck that much, right? Also, they came with bump stop tangs, which I spec'd for these, and I also got these 3/4-inch U-bolts. These things, they're beefy and they are long, but that's necessitated by the 6-inch blocks and by the fact that I've got overload springs in the back, all right? At this point, we're just keeping the stock leaf springs out back too. Now, why 6 inches instead of 4 inches? Well, remember, I've got the Sky Off-Road kit up front, and I've got Super Duty X-Code springs, which are stiffer. I think that I'm going to need 6-inch blocks out back to keep the truck level or slightly high in the back, all right? Again, not a big fan of squatty trucks. I want the truck to be level when unloaded or just slightly higher in the back. So hopefully these will work out, but we won't know until we get the engine and transmission in and see how it sits. All right, now that we got all the parts laid out, let's get started. Folks, step number 1, put some chocks front and rear behind your front wheels. As a reminder, we're lifting the entire back end of the truck off the ground, so putting it in gear and putting the emergency brake on isn't going to do you any good. Okay, step 2, lift the back of the truck up. I'm jacking underneath the rear differential. All right, next step, install jack stands. I'm using 6-ton jack stands. Overkill is always preferred when you're using jack stands. And I'm going to put them front and rear, but I'm putting them on the frame. As a reminder, we're going to need to drop the rear end down. All right, now we're going to lower the jack and have the frame resting on the jack stands. Time to get the wheels and tires off. Now, these lug nuts may be stuck in place. They've been on here for maybe 20 years or even more. So I hit them with a shot of Croil. So they've been soaking for about an hour now. Hopefully they'll come off. Finally. All right, folks, next up is to get these U-bolts undone. So these nuts, 1, 2, 3, 4, have to come off. And I'm going to hit them with a shot of my favorite penetrating fluid, Cano Aerocroil. And we're going to let that sit for a little while. And if they don't want to come, that's fine. We've got new U-bolts ready to replace, and we can just cut them out. But if they'll come off easily, then we're going to do it that way. That one didn't move at all. All right. Let's see if we can make any progress with the ratchet. Oh man. Yeah. I got one. All right, folks, now I'm going to remove the shocks. I don't think they're going to drop down enough to let the rear end down as far as I need it to go. Okay, folks, here's the situation. We've got 4 jack stands supporting the truck. It's actually supported by these 2 right here on the frame. And then we've got 2 in place just in case back here. I'm going to adjust that one up a little higher here shortly. Okay, and then we've got 2 hydraulic floor jacks under the rear differential. So that one right there is underneath the center of the rear differential. And this one here is holding up the front, the pinion area, because it's heavier. And if that jack was not underneath the pinion, then as soon as we drop the differential down from after we loosen the U-bolts, it would rotate down, and that would be pretty difficult to wrestle back into place, okay? And so what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and loosen the U-bolts and remove those, and then go ahead and lower the differential to give us room to put these 6-inch blocks in. Okay, folks, time to remove the nuts holding the U-bolts on, and we're going to get the U-bolts out. All right, and as you can see, there's nothing holding the rear diff in place at this point. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start lowering the rear diff down slowly. All right, folks, so making progress here. I went ahead and took just a grinder with a wire brush and cleaned up the top of the leaf spring, the pad on the rear diff, and the underside of the leaf spring. And let's see if I can get, okay, and you can see this is the brake line right here. This is the flexible brake line, and it's not going to be long enough. I'm going to go ahead and snip that. Okay, folks, tried to get this done without doing anything sketchy, and boy, I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. So the issue now is that I've got the block in on the driver's side, but on the passenger side here, now that the block is in on that side, I just don't have enough room. I'm not able to sort of position the differential to where I can get that 6-inch block between the differential and the leaf spring. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this jack under the leaf spring here. So what I'm doing, you see, I'm just compressing the leaf spring. I'm not lifting the truck up at all, but I am giving myself plenty of more room there. And now let's see if this block is going to fit. All right, now the shorter end goes towards the front, and now we still need a little bit more room here. Let's see if I can slide it in now. All right, it's in on the bottom. Oh, but we're nowhere close on the top. Yeah, afraid we're gonna have to reposition the jack. All right, there it is. That's in. Now we've got to see if I can get some U-bolts in there. All right, folks, I have 6 jack stands under the truck right now. I've got 4 under the frame, and then I've got under the differential, I've got 2. There it is. Just need to reposition that slightly. That's going, that's going. All right. And they're in. All right, folks, they're installed, hand tight, but I can't really torque them down because of all the extra thread I've got here. I've never seen a deep socket that deep. So I'm going to go ahead and cut off some of the extra threads here and clean that up, and then we can torque them down. Okay, folks, time to torque down the U-bolts, and as usual, we have a problem. These are 3/4 inch bolts, and they're fine thread. The recommended torque value, 315 foot-pounds. The torque wrench that I have right here goes up to 250. My good 3/4 inch torque wrench is back at the mothership. So we're going to try to get them all down to 250 and then give them some after that. All right, folks, that is it. The only thing that remains is to lower it down and see how we did. Now, as a reminder, we don't have an engine up front, transmission, transfer case, front bumper, radiator, any of that stuff. So it's going to sit a little higher in the front right now than when it's ready to roll. So what we're looking for when I lower it down is for the chuck to be level or just a little low in the back. All right, if it's high in the back, then it's time to get some more lift blocks and do this job all over again. Awesome. All right, cross your fingers, wish me luck. All right, here we go. Oh, yeah, we nailed it. Oh man, that's perfect. I mean, it is sitting just maybe a hair higher in the front. So when we put that engine in, it's going to be level or maybe just a little low in the nose. Perfect. Nailed it. All right. Okay, folks, that is it for this episode. I hope you found it interesting, entertaining, and or informative, all right? And as always, thanks for watching. And if you don't mind, please hit the like button and the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time on the Bulletproof Garage.